Welcome to Long Story Spoken.
Long stories, spoken simply.
Welcome back to Long Story Spoken, the podcast where we unpack fascinating ideas and stories. I'm your host, Katie, and today we're doing something a little different. Instead of a deep dive into current events or complex topics, we're getting creative.
And I'm Luke, super excited to be here. Katie, when you told me about today's book, Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon, I literally jumped for joy. It's one of my absolute favorites, a real game changer for anyone, not just artists.
Well, you certainly are the book lover, Luke. And I'll be honest, when you first mentioned the title, Steal Like an Artist, my professional podcaster brain went, wait, steal? Is this about plagiarism? Because that's a big no-no in our world. But you assured me it's not what it sounds like.
Absolutely not. And that's exactly why I love it. Austin Kleon flips everything we think about creativity on its head. He says that nothing is truly original, and that's actually a good thing.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Before we jump in, for everyone listening, if you're interested in grabbing a copy of Steal Like an Artist after this episode, check the description below for our affiliate link. Your support helps us keep these conversations going.
So, Katie, are you ready to get unoriginal with me?
As ready as I'll ever be, let's start with Chapter 1, Steal Like an Artist. What does Kleon mean by that?
All right, so Chapter 1 is all about this core idea. Kleon says that every artist, if they're honest, will tell you they get their ideas by stealing them. It's not about copying word for idea without giving credit. It's about seeing the world like an artist, where you're constantly on the lookout for things that resonate with you, things that are worth stealing.
So, it's more about inspiration and influence than like a musician taking influence from different genres.
Exactly. Kleon goes on to say that nothing is completely original and that all creative work builds on what came before. He even quotes T.S. Eliot, who said, "Immature poets imitate, mature poets steal. Bad poets deface what they take, and good poets make it into something better, or at least something different." It's about taking pieces, mashing them up, and remixing them into something new and unique to you. Think about it like genetics, right? You're a remix of your parents, but you're also your own person.
That makes a lot more sense. It's like you learn to cook by following recipes, and then you start experimenting and making your own dishes. So you're building on existing knowledge.
Perfect analogy. And this leads into the idea of garbage in, garbage out. Kleon emphasizes that you are the sum of your influences. So, if you want good ideas, you need to surround yourself with good stuff. Read good books, listen to good music, watch good films. The more good ideas you collect, the more you have to draw from. It's about being a selective collector, not a hoarder.
That's so true. I mean, even as a podcaster, if I'm not listening to other great podcasts, reading thought-provoking articles, or engaging with diverse content, my own work would become stagnant. It's about constantly feeding your creative well.
Exactly. And Kleon suggests something really cool called climbing your own family tree. Find one artist or thinker you love, study everything about them, then find 3 people they loved and keep going up the tree. This helps you see yourself as part of a creative lineage, making you feel less alone in your work.
That's a great way to put it. It connects you to a bigger history. Okay, so that's Chapter 1. Let's move to Chapter 2. Don't wait until you know who you are to get started. This one feels very relevant to a lot of people, including me at times.
Oh, this is a big one. Kleon talks about imposter syndrome, that feeling like you're a phony and don't know what you're doing. He says, guess what? None of us do. The truth is, you figure out who you are by making things, by doing the work. You don't wait for some magical moment of self-discovery before you start creating.
So it's less about having a grand plan and more about just taking the first step, even if it feels messy.
Precisely. He uses the phrase, fake it till you make it, and gives it to awesome meanings. 1. Pretend to be something until you become it, like dressing for the job you want. And 2. Pretend to be making something until you actually make something. It's like Patti Smith and Robert Mapplethorpe pretending to be artists in New York, and eventually they became artists.
I love that story. It's so liberating to think of creative work as a kind of theater. Your studio is the stage, your tools are the props, and the time you put in is the script. It takes the pressure off being something and puts it on doing something.
Exactly, and this leads to copying. Kleon says, start copying what you love, copy, 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 copy. At the end of the copy, you will find yourself. It's not plagiarism. It's about reverse engineering, like a mechanic taking apart a car. You learn by doing, by breaking things down and seeing how they work. Musicians learn by practicing scales. Painters by reproducing masterpieces. Even the Beatles started as a cover band.
Wow, that's a powerful thought. So, it's not about being unoriginal forever, but using copying as a learning tool.
Yes, and the key is to steal from many people, not just one. If you copy one person, it's plagiarism. If you copy from 100, it's research. And don't just steal the style, steal the thinking behind the style. You want to see like your heroes internalize their way of looking at the world. Eventually, you'll evolve from imitating to emulating, adapting what you've learned to your own unique self. Conan O'Brien is a great example. He tried to be Letterman, but ended up being Conan O'Brien. Our failures to perfectly copy our heroes are where we find our own unique thing.
That's brilliant. It's about finding your own voice through the process of trying to mimic others. Okay, on to chapter 3. Write the book you want to read. This sounds like a simple, yet profound concept.
It is Kleon challenges the common advice, write what you know, saying it often leads to boring stories. Instead, he advises to write what you like, create the kind of art, music, or product that you want to see in the world. If you're a fan of something, you crave more of it. Why not be the one to make it?
So, if I'm a huge fan of podcasts about quirky history, I should make that podcast, even if it feels niche.
Exactly. It's about channeling that desire for more into your own productive output. Ask yourself, what did my favorite creators miss? What could have been better? Then go make that. It's like how Brian Eno wanted to hear music that didn't exist, so he made it himself.
That's such a freeing perspective. It shifts the focus from what you should do to what genuinely excites you. Chapter 4. Use your hands. In this digital age, this sounds like a much-needed reminder.
It really is. Kleon quotes Linda Berry, who says, "In the digital age, don't forget to use your digits." Computers are great for editing and publishing, but they can make us feel disconnected from the act of creation. He argues that work that only comes from the head isn't as good. You need to involve your body.
Like getting up and moving around, sketching ideas on paper, or even just fidgeting while you think.
Precisely. He talks about how the physical act of moving and touching things, like shuffling sticky notes or kneading clay, can kickstart your brain. He even has 2 desks, an analog, one with just paper, pens, and markers for idea generation, and a digital one for editing and publishing. It's about creating an analog to digital loop.
I love the idea of an analog desk. It's like a designated play area for your brain. Okay, chapter 5. Side projects and hobbies are important. This sounds like permission to not be a workaholic.
It totally is. Kleon says that often. It's the side projects, the stuff you thought was just messing around or play, that really take off. He also emphasizes the importance of having multiple projects going on at once, so you can bounce between them when you get stuck.
So, it's about productive procrastination, letting your mind wander and get bored to spark new ideas.
Exactly, he calls it productive procrastination. Sometimes, the best ideas come when you're doing something boring, like washing dishes or ironing. And hobbies are super important. A hobby is something creative that's just for you, that gives back without taking. It's like church, as he puts it, regenerative. Don't throw any part of yourself away. Keep all your passions alive, even if they seem unrelated. They'll eventually connect in unexpected ways.
That resonates so much. It's like all these different parts of your life can feed into each other, even if you don't see the connection right away. Chapter 6. The Secret. Do good work and share it with people. This seems straightforward, but I bet there's more to it.
There is Kleon talks about how when you leave college, you lose that captive audience of professors and classmates. The real world doesn't necessarily care what you think. But that's actually a good thing. When you're unknown, there's no pressure. You can experiment, do things for fun.
So, it's about focusing on the work itself, not the audience, especially at the beginning.
Yes, he says that the only way to get discovered is to do good work and share it. It's about putting your stuff out there, even if it feels incomplete or imperfect. He actually talks a lot about the genius myth, where we think creativity comes from some magical, inherent talent. But he argues that it's more about persistent daily work. He actually has a great quote. The work you do while you procrastinate is probably the work you should be doing for the rest of your life. It's about building a body of work.
That's a great point. It demystifies creativity and makes it more accessible. Chapter 7, Geography is no longer our master. This is very relevant to our podcast and the digital age.
Absolutely. Kleon highlights how the internet has changed everything. You don't have to live in a big city to be connected to the creative world. You can connect with people, find inspiration, and share your work from anywhere. It's about building your own world, your own creative ecosystem, online. This chapter really emphasizes the power of the internet as a tool for connection and collaboration.
It is so true. We're recording this podcast from different parts of the city right now. The internet has truly democratized creativity in that way. Chapter 8, Be Nice. The world is a small town. This feels like basic human decency, but probably has a creative twist to it.
It does. Kleon emphasizes that in the interconnected world, being nice is not just good manners. It's essential for your creative journey. He says that the world is a small town, and word gets around. Your reputation matters. Being generous, supportive, and kind to other creatives will open doors and build lasting relationships. It's about contributing positively to the creative community rather than being competitive or mean-spirited.
So, networking, but with genuine kindness at its core. I can definitely see how that would make a big difference in a creative field. Chapter 9, Be Boring. It's the only way to get work done. This one sounds counterintuitive for creative people.
It does, right. But it's brilliant. Kleon argues that you need to embrace boredom and routine in your daily life, so you can save your energy and excitement for your creative work. He says that a lot of creative people waste too much energy trying to be exciting and out there all the time. But real work, consistent work, requires a certain level of boring stability.
So, it's about creating a solid foundation for your creativity, almost like setting up a reliable factory for ideas.
Exactly. Pay your bills, stay out of debt, get enough sleep, eat healthy. Take care of the boring stuff so you can focus on the exciting stuff. It's about being a boring genius, someone who consistently produces amazing work, because they've handled all the mundane aspects of their life.
That's a really smart perspective. It makes creativity feel more sustainable. And finally, Chapter 10. Creativity is subtraction. What's the big takeaway here?
This chapter is all about simplifying and knowing when to stop. Kleon argues that in a world of endless possibilities and constant distractions, true creativity often comes from choosing what to leave out, what to say no to. It's about editing, refining, and focusing on what truly matters.
So, it's not about adding more and more, but about removing the unnecessary.
Yes, he suggests that limitations can actually spark creativity. When you have fewer resources or less time, you're forced to be more resourceful and innovative. It's about the power of constraints. He also mentions how his newspaper blackout poems were created by blacking out words on newspaper articles, literally subtracting to create new meaning. It's about understanding that every piece of art or creative work isn't just about what's in it, but also what's left out.
That's such a profound ending to the book. It really ties everything together. The idea of stealing, remixing, putting yourself out there, and then knowing when to refine and subtract to create something truly impactful. Luke, this has been an incredible conversation. I went from being skeptical about stealing to genuinely feeling inspired to approach my own creative work with a fresh perspective.
I'm so glad, Katie. That's the magic of Austin Kleon's work. It's not just for artists in the traditional sense, but for anyone who wants to inject more creativity into their life. It's about embracing influence, getting started, making what you love, using your hands, embracing side projects, sharing your work, being kind, and making space for your art.
Absolutely. A huge thank you to Luke for walking us through Steal Like an Artist. And another big thank you to all of you for tuning in.
If you found this conversation helpful, please remember to like this video, share it with your creative friends, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future episodes.
And once again, if you're curious about picking up Steal Like an Artist, check out our affiliate link in the description below.